That's why I'm Katie blowing high like Arizona, blowing them 3-5s.
What's going on, my YouTube garden gang? Back in here, start of another video for us. We're going into our little basic 2x4 here. These are now on, I believe, day 60 of flower. Of course, we've got our water pH'd. I actually think I let them dry back a little more than I should have. You can see there we're at around a 6.6. Get those set to the side. Not much going on today. We have this trellis net on the floor, but that is for our stuff in veg. We got to get a trellis set up. But I guess we can just go ahead and hop on in here. All right, a lot of the buds are starting to have majority of those pistil hairs recessed. I think the trichomes still have a little bit of ripening to do. Hopefully they are at a decent state in just a few days. But I guess we'll come in and kind of see how the buds are looking so I can give y'all an example of that. Right, let's look at this NF Sheesh crossed with Oreos. Couple of them still, as we can see, got white hairs coming throughout. Right here we can see it, and about right here. But then we've got ones like this, which are a lot more, maybe still just a few. Come to this one. So yeah, she's coming along. I think this is the one that if I were to push one to 65, it would have been this NF Sheesh Oreos cross. And of course, we've got the ice cold Oreos cross here. Not many white hairs on her. Some of them are a little more covered in white hairs than others, like this one here. Yeah. So our bud's looking. I don't think it's the worst thing I ever seen. Might get a decent little finish off of them, despite what we did to mess them up. But that remains to be seen. So yeah, they've probably got like 3 more days. We'll chop them. Again, they're gonna dry in here. Probably. There's a chance I could dry in there. But honestly, not too much to go over. And you can see how dry I let that soil get. That's my bad. Alright, they've about each had 4 of these 16-ounce cups for themselves. Then this 5th cup, I'm gonna split between the 2, so 4.5 for each. Might have been a poor split, but it is what it is. Just got them on watered through. Now I think for the rest of this grow, I'm not gonna water them. After this, we just gonna let it ride. Let them kind of start to dry out, and that way, I guess there's a little less water content in the plants when we do get them into the dry stage. Can help us out there. But yeah, day 60 flower, not too much going on. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today. Yo, 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 what's going on, motherfuckers? We back down here, and it is day 63, so we are on that good old chop day. Just gonna take these 2 side lights out. This one will probably stay, maybe, or really it could probably come out too. So yeah, we're gonna take the lights out. Other than that, our fans are gonna keep running, and yeah, we about to cut these down. I guess I'll give y'all a final look at our little botched buds. I don't know. They're pretty. Not the worst things I ever saw. But it could have been a lot better. Yeah, I can see a little bit of how the trichomes look. You can see there's some amber in there, maybe a couple more clearish ones, but it looks like it's mainly cloudy and amber. This is the ice cold crossed with Oreos. And it seems like most people harvest around 5 to 15-ish% amber trichomes. That lets you know the THC has started to degrade and other compounds are coming in. Generally, the heavier percentage of amber trichomes you get, the more you'll get that heavy body and maybe sleepy type of high off of them. Whereas the closer you lean towards pure cloudy trichomes, it's more of a heady high. I feel like 100% cloudy with no amber probably give you a headache, but I don't know. I just know that cloudy is peak THC, clear, there's nothing going on in those trichomes, so no point in harvesting. Amber THC starting to degrade. Most people do it around 5 to 15% amber. Where are we exactly at? I don't know, and I don't really care. Like I said, these was coming down today regardless. Alrighty, y'all can see we got these bad girls on out of there. And if she's crossed with Oreos. Smell funky. She can't keep herself up no more. Then we got our ice cold crossed with Oreos. I'm hoping that when we start drying and curing, a little bit of those original terps come back. They kind of got this real stanky type smell to them. It's not a bad stink, of course. It's a weed stink, but I did prefer a little bit of those weird exotic fruit type tones we was getting. But yeah, here they are. Our tent is 5 feet tall, and you can see how high up she going up on it. Way too tall for that size of tent, but we already know that. Yeah. Gonna be time to clean this tent out. Looks like we ripped a couple nugs off, one from each plant. So, I guess we got ourselves some early smoke here. I'm gonna go dehydrate this, and it'll, yeah, you know, obviously it's not gonna be the highest quality if we don't let it dry naturally, but I don't really mind too much. Coming in here, what do we have in here? Really don't care too much of what type of cleaner, as long as it's a good cleaner. So this is what we're gonna use to go ahead and clean out the tent and have it nice and clean so that these girls can start drying. And of course, we're about to get these lights out, and we were able to salvage one of our trellis nets, the one at the top, but the other one, the one at the bottom, as y'all can see, we went and cut it all up just to make it easier. All right, tent is cleaned on out. Now we've got hangers. Just gonna hang the plants through them and hang it up here. There is an argument in my head to come and kind of get rid of some of these larger fan leaves that don't really have trichomes on them. A couple of the fan leaves, especially on the NF sheaths crossed with ice cold, do have trichomes on them, but pretty much none of them do over on this one. So I could come take some of these off. Of course, they will help the plant dry slower the more of them you keep on, but I'm really aiming for like an 8-day dry with this. What? Not 10, 14? No, no, no. I don't really want to dry this that long. I'm hoping it's done in 8 days. Alrighty, and they are both hung up. Of course, NFC's crossed with Oreos on the left, Ice Cold crossed with Oreos on the right, just where they were when they were growing. Tents cleaned out. All the fans are still running, except we've got it to where, for the most part, might need to scoot this one down just a bit. But see, this one will blow air there, this one blows air there. We still got the one up top blowing out this way. We've got the exhaust fan, so it's got decent air circulation. It's just nothing is blowing directly on our buds. That's the only thing you want to make sure. No wind blowing directly on your buds. Hopefully these are done in 8 days, but 8 to 14 days is going to be the drying period. This humidity is almost pretty good. It needs to be closer to a 60 flat. Temps, we can try to get those down to a 60. I don't know how well we're going to do. And it looks like even for the little 12 hours of lights off, they were only dropping down to 72, which it is what it is. But yeah, the closest you can get your temp and humidity to 60 and 60 will be the best. And we'll see how close we can get ours down to there. We did knock quite a few different little nugs off. Just getting the trellises and stuff off and messing around with the plants. Some of them I cut off, some of them literally got knocked off. When I was cutting the trellis, I cut some of this off. So who knows how much this is here, but by the time we dry these, we'll probably be missing anywhere from half an ounce to a full ounce between the two plants by the time they're dried up, trimmed, and weighed. So we'll have to keep that in mind, because I have picked some more off and all these accidentally came off. So we'll have to add that into our dry weight, although I'm not too concerned with the dry weight of this due to all the mess ups we did. But yeah, there our plants are. 63 days of flower. What did they have? 56 days of veg. And now, final stretch. 8 to 14 days, we gonna dry them. Boom, boom. Yo, yo, yo. We back down here. 1 day into the drying process. Of course, we'll still have plenty of time to go from today. Brief spike in the humidity, but that's all under control. What we're really worried about is our temps. Depending on what type of terpenes would have been present, there are some terpenes that go volatile at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. As you can see, we're averaging 72, 73. And I'm not really sure much of what I can do to get it down. Maybe I'll try to get like a little mini cooler type thing off of Amazon. Though I don't know if these are necessarily the girls that I would consider it worthy of doing such a thing. But yeah, they'll have a good amount of time left until they're fully dry. At least 7 more days, possibly 10. We'll just have to see. Fairly decent smell coming from them now that I just nudged them. There will be some tips and tricks that we have when it gets closer to dry time that we can use to try to gauge whether they're dry enough to start trimming and the curing process. This is the Ice Cold crossed with Oreos we're looking at right here. And that some of those tricks are, you can come up to some of your branches and try to bend them. Right now, there's not going to be any sound coming out of that because they're still full of water, but they should kind of crack when they're getting drier. You could choose a nug that you might want to risk sacrificing and squeeze it. And if it bounces back like a sponge, then that could be a sign that they're ready to go. Or if it were to stay squeezed together, we'll maybe do it with this one. You see how that's just squished now? That's how you know it's still wet. It would bounce back if it was a little dry. And yeah, obviously leaves should be real crumbly and stuff. And those 3 things together, if you do all those, you should be in good position to tell your plants are dry. And one of the best ways would honestly be as soon as you chop it down to weigh it. And then it should weigh around 1/3 to 1/4 of the wet weight when it's fully dry. It should lose about 75% of that water weight. But yeah, here the girls are. They'll be sitting here drying for a little bit. We do keep it dark. Again, you want to try to stay 60-60 humidity and temp. Obviously, we're struggling there, but I think that is going to wrap up this video. Y'all know, if you found it entertaining or helpful at all, do leave your boy a like. It greatly helps with the channel. If you made it this far in the video, shout out to you. That watch time is helpful as well. And of course, to see us trim this up, maybe get a review of kind of how it smokes, and many more things to come on the channel. Do subscribe, turn on notifications, and you'll be notified whenever we upload. Other than that, another installment in Relo Mellow Garden, and I'm out.